Top Cut quarterfinals. We are here for, the quarterfinal round of our pre-Las Vegas Regionals tournament here at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. I am Dennis Geisler. I have Alexis Harrison here with me.
Hello, this is my first time commentating, so bear with me, I guess.
We have a couple of first-time commentators today, and we'll have one afterwards. It's really fun. In any case, we're going to get into our quarterfinal round between Brian Perez and Brian Collins, which is going to be very awkward. Yeah, very awkward in terms of referring to both of them. Tom decided to play a prank on us today. Brian Perez is running Golden Go, Whimsicott, Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Archaludon, Basque Legion, and Pelipper. Brian Collins running the Hatterene, Indeedee Female, Torkoal, Hisuian Lilligant, Furgiraffe, and Incineroar. We've seen both these teams on stream today. We saw, I think Brian lost to Josh on stream earlier. I'm already doing it. Brian Perez lost to Josh on stream earlier. Brian Collins won his matchup, I believe. How do you think these match up? Both of them have weather, which I think is very important for how this goes.
So as someone who has run a rain team, I think this is going to be a pretty tough matchup for Brian Perez. Obviously, Brian Collins, very good player, very experienced with this team. Basically, if he can get Trick Room up, which there's many ways to get Trick Room up, he'll be in a really good spot.
Yeah, I feel like on top of the fact that Pelipper is... It's kind of your anti-Sun option, but Brian has a really good answer against that, and it's actually going to be the Incineroar Hatterene. That's what I was going to say as well, where I think that the Hatterene answers a lot of this really well, so I do like Brian bringing out the Golden Go here, which does well against the Hatterene, although the Hatterene has the Terra as an option. Pelipper has the Jaboka Berry. We mentioned this on stream earlier. It does an eighth of the attacker's HP whenever it takes a physical hit. Neither of us on stream earlier knew that it existed.
Yeah, I didn't know what this berry does.
Yeah, we found out earlier today. But in any case, I do think that you have the opportunity to go for something like, from Brian's side, going for a Trick Room on Hatterene. You probably have to Terrastallize, but that's not that big a deal. Alongside like a Fake Out into the Pelipper. And at that point, Hatterene has a very nice opening to just start hitting things. I will mention on Brian's side, both Archaludon and Basque Legion are sets that don't strictly rely on rain. You have the sturdy Power Herb Archaludon set, you have the adaptability Basque Legion, so you're not as reliant on the rain as you might worry, but still, it can be a little awkward at points. The Incineroar is just going to switch out immediately. Not a bad call at all for Brian. It's actually the Torkoal coming out, so it's actually just going to bring out the Sun. And if this is a Terra... Again, if this is a Terra Water Trick Room, there's the Terra. This is a Terra Water Trick Room. Brian's in a really good spot, because now you have two Trick Room Sweepers out on the field at the same time, able to start getting work done here. There is the Terra on the Hatterene. Golden Go goes for the Nasty Plot, which feels a tiny bit greedy to me, but we'll see how that turns out. There's the Trick Room from the Hatterene. So basically, as we kind of predicted, but now if you're Brian Perez, what do you do about this?
You could try to just get the Pelipper back in again and stop the Torkoal, but the Hatterene's going to be able to do a lot here.
Yeah, and I'm especially worried about the Golden Go, because I was like, oh, Golden Go can do, like, I don't know, Terra Water or whatever, to get out of the Torkoal matchup. It can't do that. It's Terra Steel, so it's going to be in an awkward spot against this Torkoal if Brian Collins just decides to launch out damage from these two. It's going to be no switches. Basque Legion protects. It might just be a double protect turn, actually. Yeah, it sure is.
Scouting out what Brian Collins wants to do.
Especially with the Torkoal being choice locked, you get to see, yes, it locks into Weather Ball here, which, clever little play there, because even if the Pelipper switches in, you still have a solid move coming out of that. But still, that means that Brian has showed that this is what he's going for. And now that the Weather Ball is locked, it's going to be especially awkward to... I'm curious how much the Water Weather Ball would do in this instance, though. Weather Ball just... We were literally talking about it during the break. It's just such a fun move.
It would do a decent amount, even into the Pelipper. I think here you probably, just try to Aqua Jet to get some damage on?
I think probably. I do wonder if Brian at this point would want to switch out into the Indeedee and go for an Expanding Force.
That's what I would think.
That's what I would think, and that would make Aqua Jet a little scary. But no, just gonna keep going forward with the Weather Ball into the Pelipper. Nice little chunk of damage, yeah. Dazzling Gleam going to... Wow, that did way more damage than I thought it would. Brought Pelipper down to 1 HP just straight up. Basculegion for the crit. Ooh, wow. Yep, Liquidation does a lot to Torkoal with critical hit. I'm not sure if that mattered or not. I mean, it matters emotionally, but...
I doubt it.
Yeah.
It's a Liquidation.
Every single time I have to... I think of Loudbox and I go, yeah, it mattered. We'll get the Incineroar Intimidate here. It also means that the Fake Out can go into the Pelipper to pick up the KO. And keep in mind, yeah, that Pelipper doesn't have Protect, so there's really nothing it can do other than just fold to Fake Out here, unless Brian wants to get a little bit funky with it and potentially switch out the Indeedee. Keep in mind, the Pelipper does have Wide Guard, though, so it would be able to protect the Basculegion a bit from a double target move like that Dazzling Gleam. But we're going to see the Pelipper just switch out. Interesting choice there.
Golden Go.
Yeah. So it won't take any damage if that was a Fake Out into that slot. Aqua Jet into the Incineroar.
Ooh.
That's a KO? Okay, another crit. I was like, that definitely didn't feel like it should KO. That one to crit,
Yeah.
I'm certain mattered.
I would expect Instant to live that one.
And you can tell Brian Perez is certainly excited about his luck so far in this one. We'll say that much.
The Basco's down.
I mean, the thing is, it puts Brian Collins in such an awkward spot because Hatterene can't touch Golden Go at the end of the day. It's going to be really difficult for Hatterene to get through Golden Go. And that's aside from the other Pokemon on the field. So it's going to make it a little bit weird for Brian Collins to try to close out this game just because of the two Pokemon that got hit with huge crits. At least one definitely getting hit by a crit.
So the Pelipper now has Wide Guard pressure against the Hatterene. I can see the Hatterene just maybe going for a Protect.
I mean, the problem is
then you're wasting a turn of Trick Room.
You're wasting a turn of Trick Room.
But if Indeedee goes for the Psychic to the Pelipper, then oh well, the Torkoal is knocked out, so
yeah,
there's no weather advantage at least.
Yeah, there's the Wide Guard. I think it makes a lot of sense for Brian Perez here to go for the Wide Guard Nasty Plot. It was the Expanding Force there, so it's not going to do anything, but I think Brian's not going to take any damage from it. Or Brian Collins. I'm gonna do it every time. it's gonna get me. I'm ruined. Yeah, there's the Psychic. So Pelipper does drop. We're down to our final Pokemon for each of these two players. The problem is that this Golden Go is really strong.
Yeah, and it feels very good to have Archelidon here in the back.
Yeah, and there's the end of Trick Room there.
Archelidon resists everything that these two can do to it.
And so does Golden Go. So I don't know what Brian Collins can really do here.
Types.
Yeah, there's the Protect. I don't hate the idea of like a Protect Trick Room here to try to get Trick Room back active. There's the Electro Shot. We'll see if it's targeted into the Hatterene. Makes enough sense to just launch it into the Indeedee, honestly, but nope, it is into the Hatterene. See what the Golden Go goes for here. It is Make It Rain. Does it KO the Indeedee? This could kind of decide if Brian Collins has any chance here. It does not KO. So Trick Room, I think, for Indeedee, you'd imagine. Alright, there it goes.
Now active?
Problem here is that now you need I don't even know
Expanding
any way
Force to do 1 billion damage.
That was basically what I was gonna say, is you need like, well, you need one-shots from both of them, but you literally can't one-shot the Arch. So I'm really not sure what the play is here. Because you do have Helping Hand, you do have Expanding Force, you have a lot of damage out of that. The problem is, I don't know what you do, because you can't take out the Arch in one hit, and I don't even think that'll do... I think that would do barely over half to both these Pokemon, is my guess.
Yeah.
Which is not enough to win the game.
Yeah, and as long as Brian Perez can get rid of Hatterene here, then you're pretty much fine.
There's the Helping Hand. Let's see it.
which there should be no reason you can't do that this turn.
Oh, whoa, that did way more damage than I thought it would. Okay, never mind.
Well, it isn't Assault Vest Arch, so...
That's true, that's true.
But Sturdy,
but
really
I
putting in
think,
work here.
yeah, I think Brian Perez still has the win here because that did not KO the Golden Go. Because the Archaludon with 1 HP remaining should be able to finish this off. If something crazy happens and it doesn't, then Brian Collins does win. But I think any move here, yeah, the Electroshock will pick up the KO. And so with 1 HP remaining, that's still a win.
Archaludon clutches the game.
Clutch for Archaludon and clutch for Brian Perez in game number 1. We saw last week? It's like sort of last week, right? I can't even remember. I think last week Brian Collins losing in the first round of Top Cut to Haley. Now he's already down 1-0 to Brian Perez. Been struggling with just this quarterfinal round. He runs over everybody else for the entire rest of the bracket, but this quarterfinal round has caused him some issue. We'll see how he wants to switch things up here. Obviously, you do have to consider that Aqua-Jet crit to be a pretty substantial game changer between this game and between game number 1, how it went and how it probably should have gone without the crits from the Basculegion. And so I wonder if Brian Perez will also change things up and say, okay, that shouldn't have happened. We'll change things up and see if I can do something a little different here. But I do think the Pelipper Bring is important.
Yeah, you kind of need it into the Torkoal.
Mm-hmm.
I would expect maybe Brian Collins to maybe try and preserve the Torkoal a little bit better in this game too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It going down there really early in the game was pretty rough.
And I wonder if he thought that it would take a liquidation without a crit, but it is still adaptability, rain-boosted liquidation from a Basculegion. Probably not a fully attack-invested Basculegion. It's probably, I would imagine it's Jolly rather than Adamant, but I have no information on that. I genuinely don't know. But even still, I wonder if Brian just didn't expect that to KO and expected to be able to switch out the Torkoal and have it come back in later. But we'll see. It should tell us a lot based on what these players do for the start of this battle. It's going to be an Indeedee and Incineroar, so a very passive lead at the start for Brian Collins. And that leaves Brian Perez in not a bad spot to just start doing damage.
It is funny because you block your own Incineroar fake out.
Yeah, Incineroar can't fake out here, which means that, I mean, there's nothing really stopping, like, Muddy Water, Electroshot. Like, what in this entire team is stopping that? Especially knowing that you have Power Herb, so even if the Torkoal switches in here, you still get your full Electroshot off. And Muddy Water obviously won't be doing a ton of damage in the sun, but if these two Pokemon stay out here, you're doing good damage, and if they don't, you're still doing something. And you might even get the drop, which feels so good.
But you do have the funny close combat that could come
It is
out
close combat
from
Incineroar. I always have to remind myself of that. I got my Tyranitar absolutely destroyed by somebody playing Brian's team on the ladder with the close combat Incineroar.
Alright, getting a good amount of damage down on the Indeedee. It's just going to be a knockoff on the Pelipper.
Yeah, but that activates Jaboca Berry.
Not the Jaboca Berry.
Have you ever seen that text before?
I have never seen
the opposing Incineroar has been
hurt by the Pelipper's
Jaboca Berry. I've never seen that. But how does that even work? I'm holding a berry.
The berry explodes in their face.
I guess the berry explodes in their face. I feel like Pelipper eats it and then just spits it out at Incineroar. It's very strange. In any case, kind of a weird choice there. Archaludon protected, right?
Yeah, I could see you wanting to get around the close combat.
The close combat and also potentially like a...
But you could have gone for a Muddy Water there. I guess maybe expecting the Incin to switch out.
Yeah, but even then, I don't know. it feels like Brian got, and maybe this is even good for Brian Perez, but it felt like Brian Collins got Trick Room up really, really easily. But maybe that's actually a good thing in the sense that...
Okay, and Pelipper goes down, so Brian Collins will get the weather advantage for the rest of the game.
Does.
And Torkoal's in the back.
And that'll break the sash. I wonder if it's good for Brian Perez, though, just that you're kind of wasting turns of Trick Room with the Incineroar on the field. Although the Incineroar, it still hits reasonably hard. I mean, it just took out Pelipper. And indeed, he won't drop to the Electro Shot. Yeah, and I wonder if that's part of it, if that's just the point. But the problem here is that, okay, there's nothing really left that you can play this passively with.
Yeah, if Torkoal comes out here, the Basket Legion's going to be in a little bit of a tricky spot.
Yeah.
As well as the Golden Dip, though, considering it can't para out of a fire weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of awkward. At this point, you kind of have to stall out the Trick Room, but that's assuming that Brian can't get another Trick Room. Brian Collins can't get another Trick Room. I'm going to do it every time. It's going to get me every single time.
You should just not say the last
I shouldn't.
Just
I
have
should.
the viewers guess which Brian.
Just guess which
about.
Brian. You
can.
If one of them's
guess.
using Trick Room, you can guess which Brian it is. Double Protect from Brian Perez's side.
Okay, there's the close combat.
Yeah.
And yeah, this Incineroar is just staying on the field, putting in work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad Trick Room sweeper, and I don't know how much attack that Incineroar is trained in, but it's probably still doing pretty good damage in a lot of these cases. It's like, yeah, this is my Trick Room sweeper. It's slow. It's got a good attack stat. It's got Clear Amulet. What more do you want from my Trick Room sweeper? That's basically Calyrex Ice.
Calyrex Ice if it was a cat.
Calyrex Ice if it was a cat.
And a fire type.
And a fire type. Calyrex Ice if it beat Calyrex Ice.
Alright, here comes the Golden Go.
I'm gonna see the Terra here. I would, imagine that's the Arch. Terra Electric.
Terra Electric, trying to get the most value out of this Electro Shot.
Mm-hmm. Although, again, we're getting to a point where... kind of awkward. Knockoff into Golden Go. Goodbye, Golden Go.
That's gotta hurt.
We're boosting Last Respects here.
We are boosting Last Respects here.
And honestly, that might be the answer. That might be the play. Psychic into the Archaludon. That's a lot of damage is the problem.
Yeah, I don't know how Basket Legion and Arch will get through this.
Especially Arch with, like, 22 HP. It's gonna be real difficult. Ooh, that's cool. I didn't know that it would do the little Terra Electric animation as well. That was cute. Goodbye, Incineroar. Certainly got work done. Got rid of the Golden Go there.
But now...
Ooh, it's actually going to be the Hatterene, which not a bad play at all, because... I mean, the problem here is that if you're Brian Perez, you really want to click Last Respects, but you really need the Indeedee gone. I think if Brian Collins plays this... I mean, if Brian Collins plays this aggressively enough, the game's over right now. But if Brian Collins plays this pretty normally, I think the game's... I think this game's over.
Yeah.
Expanding Force should KO the Archaludon, should bring Basket Legion down to 1 HP, and the follow-up Psychic, I would imagine, will do it.
Yep. And then we're going to Game 3.
And then we're going to a Game 3.
Didn't even need the Torkoal.
Did not need the Torkoal at all. Yeah, it was like the threat of the Torkoal was around the entire time. It did not need to appear on the field. And that's the other... That's the tough thing for Brian Perez. You have to be like, okay, that game went so badly for me, and also, I didn't even have to deal with Torkoal.
Yeah. Like, even in rain...
It seems really good, actually. Brian Collins is kind of good at Pokemon.
Yeah, I think Brian Collins is good at Pokemon.
Because it's so difficult, and maybe Brian Perez, if he went for something a little different in turn 1, maybe went for that Muddy Water, got a little bit more aggressive, and Incineroar's face went for the Electro Shot turn 1. I mean, you can say some of these what-ifs, but also you have to consider, like, yeah, then what if Torkoal just swapped in, and now you just kind of lose, because everything gets just destroyed by Torkoal.
Yeah, I do think that Brian Perez in this game 3 could be a little more aggressive, especially because of that Archelodon has the power herb. You don't need to play around the rain.
Yeah.
You can get that initial electroshock off and get that boost maybe early, and that can help you kind of snowball the game in your favor.
And while Incineroar has 4 attacks, it's not Assault Vest. You do a lot of damage to it with special moves. So that could be the option here, but I do wonder if Brian Perez is taking a while to think because he's not really sure what the way through this is. And some of it relies so heavily on the lead. That's something I've noticed playing against this kind of Trick Room Psy-Spam team, but also Brian Collins' team in particular, is that so much relies on, like, okay, am I going to see Lilligant this game? Am I going to see Farigiraf this game? Who is going to lead? Do I have to worry about Hatterene in front? Do I have to worry about Ndidi in front? Where's the damage coming from when I'm doing this? Because if you focus too much on the Hatterene or on the Torkoal, Farigiraf and Incineroar just kind of run you over. Like, there are so many damage sources on this team, and as long as they're able to get Trick Room active, things just get done. This is the same lead from Brian Collins, a different lead from Brian Perez. It is the Golden Go along with the Pelipper. I wonder this time if Brian Perez will go for the Muddy Water. I could see something like a Muddy Water Nasty Plot.
Yeah, I feel like you've got to be more aggressive with this Incineroar on the field.
Oh, and I keep forgetting the Golden Go's Terra Steel.
Yeah, it
so
does make it a little awkward.
It's going to be perfectly fine, because now when Torkoal comes in, you're not going to be in trouble at all. Nope, you're cooked. This could be a play, though, actually. I'm seeing what Brian is putting down. He's, putting all his chips in here on this play. It's the Terra Steel on the Golden Go. He wants to stop Trick Room from getting up. This is a +1 special defense in DD, but can 2 pretty strong hits do this? So the Make It Rain first. About half HP. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be enough. Weather Ball second.
Oh, here comes the Weather Ball, and yeah,
ooh, barely not enough.
Just a sliver.
The knockoff into the Golden Go does pretty good damage. Not enough to KO, but leaves it on the field there. And the Trick Room gets
now
up.
The Trick Room's up, and you kind of can't really stop the Incineroar here from being able to KO the Golden Go.
Not really, and you can kind of switch around a little bit if you're Brian Perez.
But even so, getting a knockoff into any of the Pokemon in the back will be valuable.
Yeah, I feel like, and I actually don't know if a knockoff would KO the Golden Go at that range. I don't think it would by itself.
I also don't think so.
So it might just be, and honestly, it's not bad for Brian if both these Pokemon drop here. The knockoff there, that's pretty good damage.
It's Jaboka Berry time.
It's Jaboka Berry time. The Psychic, ooh, if they can take out the Pelipper here, that's huge. That's really huge for Brian Collins, because now Torkoal wins. Now the game's over because Torkoal time. Make It Rain will KO the Ndidi, and that is perfect for Brian Collins because it is the perfect time to bring in your funny turtle.
Yeah, now there's no chance of Brian Perez being able to stop this Torkoal from kind of running over his team.
Yeah, and that's even before the last Pokemon in the back, and ignoring Incineroar damage that layers on top of it.
Yeah, this Incineroar has been putting in work.
It's crazy how perfect this Incineroar set is. It's really, really annoying. Because you just kind of take too much damage to do anything about... for anyone to just, like, ignore it like they might in Incineroar that just, like one of those, like, 2 attacks, one of them being fake out Incineroars. Like, it's so difficult.
Also, this Incineroar has just been sitting in the face of water moves turn after turn without being targeted.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that the team is so dangerous where it's like, okay, I have to get rid of... And I think Brian Perez kind of lost as soon as he didn't get the
DD KO.
Yeah, didn't get the KO on the NDD, and
'cause you're putting all your chips in that one basket where you're trying to just deny the Trick Room from going up, but then you're kind of ignoring the other threats on the team, and by not being able to get rid of the NDD, then you just kind of throw it all away.
Yeah, you kind of lose the opportunity to play again. Because I don't hate the play from Brian Perez. I think it was a reasonable... Like, I don't think it was a crazy choice to try to go for that, although I might have gone for Archaludon instead as the option there. That's a double protect. That was kind of funny. There's a double protect there for the Golden Go. We can see maybe Brian Perez will get out of Trick Room with enough protects, but I think Archaludon's probably going to drop here. That did its entire HP bar.
Yeah, and if this is a double target...
Yeah. There's no reason not to double target there.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, Golden Go would go down to an eruption.
Exactly. So we're going to see the final Pokemon here for Brian Perez, which is that Basculegion. I mean, it could... How many turns of Trick Room are left? We can't tell because Brian Collins' face is in the way. I think this might be the last one. The problem is... what do you do when you're out of Trick Room? It's not like you have much of a play outside of Trick Room.
Much. You have Last Respect.
Oh, and there's
online.
the switch out as well, which I like that play for the Incineroar, because then you'll be able to bring it back in and KO and intimidate the Basculegion. Because I think another eruption, I mean, Golden Go's done. No triple protect for you. 1 in 9 chance, not gonna land today. That would have been pretty cool. If that had gone through, maybe there was a chance.
And down goes the Golden Go.
Because, yeah, now it's just one funny fish against
I don't think the Basculegion can clutch this out on its own.
It does have Last Respects.
With the Focus Sash.
Yeah, it does have Sash, it does have Last Respects. No Psychic Terrain anymore, so it can Aqua Jet, I guess.
But you still have 2 turns of Sun.
Yeah, I think you just have to Last Respects the Hatterene and hope. I think you actually have to go for the Hatterene and not the Torkoal, because I think you take a Torkoal hit better than you take a Hatterene
Yeah, I
hit.
agree.
Either way, we'll see if the Last Respects even KOs. It does not KO the Torkoal. The Eruption tags the Focus Sash. It tags the Focus Sash. That's all it needs to do. Because, well, the Trick Room, yeah. Because I think Hatterene will pick up the KO here with an Expanding Force, honestly. Just even single target, even unboosted. I think it's going to get the job done. Fish ain't that bulky. Torkoal will switch out, and so that'll weaken the Basculegion even further. And if everything goes wrong, it'll allow Torkoal to come back in and reset the sun. But I think that'll do. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Never mind, I'm a huge liar.
Has pretty good special gold.
I'm a huge liar, and Hatterene is gone.
But now your Basculegion is so low, and this Incineroar can deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you have...
It don't actually, because Torkoal comes back out. But
I don't think there's a way.
I don't think there's a way, because Torkoal can use Weather Ball here.
Yeah, and that'll do enough.
And Incineroar can use Knockoff. And between those two moves, there's no way that they don't KO. So I think this one's over. But we're going to get the Terastal as well. It's probably the Torkoal, I think. Oh no, it's the Incineroar. That's cool. Paragrass Incineroar, trying to take a Aqua Jet, I guess.
That crit Aqua Jet, you know.
That crit Aqua Jet. I think a crit would still KO it. Oh wow. Never mind, maybe not. Torkoal goes for the Earth Power, and that's it. Brian Collins. Nice win there. I mean, it's always the mark of a really, really good player when you have as bad of a game 1 as you can probably manage, getting all of those crits, losing all your Pokemon to that, and just hunkering down and saying, okay, I've got to win 2 games now, and making it happen. I mean, you talk a lot about, like, playing through playing through RNG in a lot of cases like that. But it's another thing to have a game so bad that it's so affected by RNG and then still winning the other two games.
Yeah, and even in game 2, like mind gaming, like I can beat you even without weather.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Torkoal getting so much work done in game number 3. And I like what Brian Perez tried to do in terms of trying to win that one, but it just ended up not being enough. But with that, that will be the end of the quarterfinal round. We will be back with the semifinal round, top 4, in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.